So recently I've been thinking about a few years back when I went to China. I don't actually talk about it all that much, which is odd since it was a really fun experience and I spent 3 weeks there. So for anyone that doesn't know, back when I was going into grade 11, so the summer between grade 10 and grade 11, the Chinese government invited 100 Canadian students to come to China, and I was one of the ones that sent in an application and was chosen to go. So it was a really cool experience. It was just a tour of a bunch of places in China. We spent the first 3 days in Beijing just looking at the various things there. Like, we went to the Great Wall and the Forbidden City and the Temple of Heaven and the Summer Palace and all of these different things. Like, I think we went to maybe 9 different places in those 3 days. So I can probably make a series of videos about my trip to China. And I guess today I'll just talk about when we were getting ready for the trip, because that was pretty interesting all in its own right. I didn't have my passport at the time, so I had to go and do that, but that's boring. But we had a number of different meetings that we had to go to make sure that everyone was on the same page, and there was so much planning involved. I can't remember what the name of the guy at the Confucius Institute in Edmonton was, but there was a couple of people there that were in charge of actually arranging all of the travel plans, and it was pretty complicated because in Alberta there was 2 groups of students going, one from Edmonton and one from Calgary. In Edmonton there was only, I think, 7 of us going, and in Calgary there was 13, so 20 of us in total. It was a fairly good-sized group. Lego everywhere! So in China everything was paid for, but we had to pay for our flight over. So there was a whole bunch of various planning things that were going on with them trying to get the best ticket prices they could for 20 people. And the number of times that they changed the ideas for the flight plan was kind of hilarious. But because of the flight plan that they ended up having to go with, we actually got to go to one more city than was originally planned. The original plan for the trip was that we would simply go to Beijing and a place called Kunming. But because of the flight plan, we had to pass through Hong Kong. We ended up having to stay in Hong Kong for a full day so that we could actually have the flight in the most efficient way possible. So I also got to go there, and that was really fun. So many noises! So I'll talk about specifics of the trip later. Maybe vote in the comments whether you want to hear about the Great Wall, Forbidden City, or the Temple of Heaven next. But for now, just, like, comment, subscribe, and see you on Friday.